Hi, we continue our work in Unit 3, and we are going to be working with the Profitability Index in this session. So let's get over here to our problem. And the Profitability Index is another investment criterion that we can use. Essentially, if we have a Profitability Index that is 1 or greater, then we should accept the project. It will correspond with the net present value. If you have a positive present value, net present value, then that should tell you they go hand in hand. And it's also used as a way to rank projects so that you can see exactly where they show up. So when you're comparing something, you actually can use the profitability index to help you do ranking. And so I'm kind of surprised that this problem doesn't have two projects, but it doesn't. So we'll go through it so you can see how to work it. The first thing that I've done here is actually just work the present value of this. And you know, it's no different from what we've done before. I put in the 10% rate, and then I've put in all the values. And we come up with a positive present value of 7105. What this means, it's an amount above the 80,000, and I just want to show you that so you can see if I were to do the net present value. And what I'm going to do is just do the future value. I'm not going to include the 80,000 outlay, which is a negative number. I'm just going to show you this so that you can see how we arrive at that. Do you see how this is 87,105.21? So in other words, the cash inflows add up to more than 80,000. So I just want you to know that, because people get confused when they do this profitability index and they get it wrong a lot. Essentially what we're doing here is that we're just taking this number, the 87, and dividing it by the 80,000 cash outlay to come up with our 108 number. But that, in order to do it this way, you would have to just do the present value on the future cash flows in years 1 through 6. What I've done over here is I just take, when I know I have a positive present value, I just take the value, the cash outlay, and add it to the positive amount, and then just divide it by that amount of outlay. And you notice none of these numbers are negative, so that you can come up with it. And I have proved it to you that the present value here does represent 80,000 plus the additional amount that the future cash flows bring in. And so profitability index, if this number, I'm going to play with this a little bit so you can kind of see how this might work. You know, this number won't change necessarily, but if I actually were to make one of these values like well, let's make it 1,000 here, or 10,000. Let's make it smaller. Now, you can't look at this number right now because I had that, you know, I had typed it in, but you can see that in this one we have a present value index of a negative number, and so our profitability index that I've calculated here does show below 1, and that makes sense because our present value is a negative number. Now if I put this back in here, and then I can recalculate this the way I had explained, by I just take the 80,000 and I add the present value number that I had up here, and then I divide that by the 80,000, and that gives me the index. Or you can do it this way, where you calculate the present value, the future cash flows, and then you just divide it by that cash outlay. Now the internal rate of return is just the same way we've always done it. You know, we've basically just taken the internal rate here, and then I put a guess in. So if I actually go to this number and look at it here, you can see I put my values in. When you do internal rate of return, it's not a comma between them, it's just showing the list of values, and then I have my guess. in there, and it doesn't really matter if even if you put a guess in there, it will calculate it. So my internal rate of return is 13%. Now you can even look at internal rate of return and say, yes, I would take this because my discount rate up here is 10%. So the 13% internal rate of return does tell me that. So just, you know, there's lots of tools. There's lots of ways that you can use it. Just remember that the PI index is normally used for ranking, where you can tell between two projects where it would be ranked the best. And of course, the higher above one, the better. So in this case, we would accept this project. It's a good project to complete because we're going to earn money. We're going to add value to our equity account. So hopefully this helps you, and I look forward to seeing you and talking to you in the next video.